Johnson RD16, 1953. These are, I think, the first year that they had control hookups on the engine. Like this piece right here, and making the hole in that. And then on this side, they putting them on the outside here and making that rod. This is a, if you look up in here, you can see the drum with wire on it instead of a control arm and rod. This thing had wire running it. It works well. This is the second one of these I've done. Very pleased with it. These 25s run extremely well. I can't say as I say the same thing about the 30 or the 35 or the 40. They're not too big a bore. The carburetor is too big. They don't start well, and I don't think they idle all that well, and they don't run all that well, and I don't think they have all that much more horsepower either. This thing really goes. This pushes this little PB4 at about 36 miles an hour, which is pretty goddamn snappy. It's got a 14-pitch prop on it. Turns about 44, 42, 44, somewhere in that neighborhood. Its control box is a little bit newer. This is a Canuzzi boat. He made these things in kits in the 50s. I bought this one for my son and I to put together in the 90s. His brother-in-law started a different company and bought out all his brother-in-law's kits, and so Canuzzi sold out and started making fiberglass boats. This is a custom craft PB4, and it came to me, and it was in a box, and plywood box. Plywood was really nice. I said, God damn, this thing's got to be pretty old. And sure enough, I started researching online, and I figured out it was a PB4 kit. The instructions that came with it were all custom craft. They had nothing to do with the newer company at all, so they'd been boxed up with the original plans too. It's a manual start. Johnson. It starts very well. It's got a pressure tank. Pressure tank works well. I don't know if this isn't the original one. George Bergeron gave me this engine last winter. Been sitting on the rack outside for probably 20 years or so. It was in excellent shape though. I had to do a carburetor kit and a tune-up kit, points condensers, and water pump impeller. The impeller housing was in pretty good shape. It didn't need to be replaced, and probably was fortunate because they're a little hard to find for this older engine. It has a little bit different setup for the water. It works a little bit differently, not much, but it has water passages around the outside, and the water pump housing itself is different than the 54 and later one. I did repaint it. It was in pretty good shape, but as I say, I'm very pleased with these engines. The second one of these I've done, and I really like the way they run, and they put out some real good horsepower. Fosty says this is the end of the show.
That's all.
Goodbye.